Today we're going to do another What's in My Bag. You may remember the first 1 and 2s, and thank you all for your kind remarks regarding that. But things have changed a little bit since we did the first one, so I thought we'd do a new one and you could all see what the new kit is. Here we have our little travelling think tank bag. If you'll notice, it's got Canon CPS and Canon written all over it, but when we open it up we have a little bit of a surprise. Yes, okay. It's a little bit packed, as you can see, because obviously I only have limited space in this bag. But what you will notice is what we have inside, which is a Nikon D3S. Okay, straight out of the box. Well, not quite, been used a few times. Well, obviously you can see that it is a little bit cramped, and I wouldn't normally have all of this gear in this bag for this particular thing. What you find was with a smaller bag, you pack for need. Okay, so you ascertain what your assignment's going to be, sort of try and work out what lenses you will need before you go and pack appropriately. I've got a lot of stuff in here because I really wanted to show you that even for such a small little bag, you can carry a lot of gear. So obviously we have the D3S, and you're all wanting to know what this camera is like. Phenomenal, an amazing camera. Nikon did a great job, and there's a few changes from the D3, and we'll discuss what those changes are. But the main big change, I guess, is the fact that this now is able to do HD video, and I've not messed around with that. I'm a photographer, not a videographer, and that's pretty much the way it's going to stay, unless of course I take it on vacation with me and decide to do the kid running around on the beach. We'll look at the back of this. Pretty much exactly the same as the D3, okay, with a couple of little exceptions. The exception, they put the live view for the video right next to the audio button, which is a little bit of an issue, because when you're working very fast and frantic and you need to do a sound wave, you end up pressing the live view button, and instead of recording an audio, it switches into live view mode. It's more of an inconvenience than a huge problem. You know, I didn't think I was ever going to need the live view button, and I wanted to work out if there was a way to turn it off, but subsequently, since saying that, I've actually used the live view to do a couple of Hail Marys and such like. So, you know, it's just a bad position. Sharpness, great. ISOs or ASAs, whichever you want to call them nowadays, amazing, really amazing. I've shot this camera on the highest ISOs in virtually, in a black car park, darkened car park, and yeah, it is grainy. You are going to get grain when you're shooting in pitch black, but if you want an image, then it works, and it works very well. So, great camera. I have no problems with it. We have the workhorse, which is the 24 to 70. It's a 2.8 lens, and again, very fast lens. Perfect for parties, perfect for everyday use. Really, I can't say anything bad about this lens. There is nothing bad about it. It's a great lens, and those of you that have used this lens will know exactly what I'm talking about. It's sharp, it's good in low light, it sees what it's meant to see, and it's good. Here's the honest truth. I packed this today and I very rarely use it, but it is the 14 to 24, okay? Good for parties, for really close contact, in-your-face type things. I would probably use this if I was going to go to a court case and I knew there was going to be a mosh outside or something like that. I don't normally carry it with me all the time, because when you see this element, there's a little bit of dust on the end there, but I'm afraid to take it out. Even with this big hunking cap on, that one scratch from somebody else's camera walking by, and it's all over for this lens. So I take very good care of that. I have the 24 to 70, which covers me on most occasions. I think I would maybe use this at a sporting event. I may take this to the Oscars and do some wide-angle carpet shots. You know, I may take it to the Independent Spirit Awards and again do the same sort of thing, just ambient shots and around. So hidden away here, and we'll talk about the flash gun in a second, but hidden away here we have a 1.7 teleconverter. Now Nikon do two types of teleconverter. They do a 1.7 and a 1.4. Now what you will discover when you've changed over from Canon to Nikon is the fact that you are now using a full frame camera. Okay, we've gone back old school, back to the you know, the days of good old full frame with film. This is pretty much one of those things you should always carry with you now, because Canon used to have, like, I think it was a 1.4 magnification, and when you looked through their normal standard, everything was a little bit closer. Now when you go back to the Nikon, you're gonna go, wow, I don't have the same zoom effect now. So you have to stick this back on to pretty much get you to where you were with Canon. I plumped for the 1.7 over the 1.4 because I did actually want a little bit of extra magnification. I do runway photography in New York. This is pretty much a permanent fixture on the Canon. On the camera all week. So you know, when you switch over, if you switch over, you should definitely consider buying one of those little babies. Flash guns. Will anybody ever get their flash guns right? That's the big question. So Canon produced a 580 Mark I and then a 580 Mark II. We all love the 580 Mark Is, and then the 580 Mark IIs turned into a bit of a disaster. So Nikon, in their greater wisdom, we have the SP800. Now you're going to say, okay, wow, look at that. That's a lot smaller. The head is smaller, the flash unit is smaller. Everything about the SPB for boy 800 is more compact. Then you have their brand new flash, the SB900. So you see there's a completely different interface on it, and slightly, you know, they're both pretty much the same with the features inside, but this has more power. Okay, obviously you'll see because of the head, it does have more power, and it's a very good flash. But it has, as usual, they made a huge big boo-boo. And those of you that have used this will know exactly what the boo-boo is. Here, this is the SB900, and you'll be able to see the interface, and what you'll be able to see on the right-hand side is a little thermometer. Okay, and this is a feature that the SP800 didn't have. Now, Nikon, in their greater wisdom, decided that they wanted to protect the consumer by producing a flash that, when it gets overheated, will turn itself off. Wonderful idea. Let's save yourself $600, and unfortunately let's lose a $10,000 picture. Because what happens is when you're shooting in, say, hard sunlight, or you're trying to do fill-in flash and you rapid fire, this will heat up and then it will turn the flash unit off. Completely turns it off. And you can do the research on the internet, it's all there. Wedding photographers have huge problems with these. Entertainment photographers have huge problems with these. These flash guns are good if you're just going to do pop, 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 and then not shoot again for a minute or two. So the firmware fixed for the flash, basically instead of it shutting down after 20 frames, it shuts down after 30 frames. I may exaggerate a little bit on the frame rate there, but this, again, what you will see is this also says off. Okay, you can, this is because I know that the people out there are going to say, oh, but you can turn it off in the custom functions. Yes, you can turn it off in the custom functions, but guess what? When it hits the critical temperature mark, it will turn the flash off regardless of whether or not you've turned that off or not. There's a critical point, and Nikon want us all to save our money and not have to go out and buy new ones, and they did a wonderful job. We want the option to be able to turn that feature off completely. Okay, if I want to shoot until my flash gun smokes, until there's fire coming out the end like a hot rod, let me do it please.